Very good afternoon dear students. Hope you all are fine and doing well as usual. So dear students, again we are going to start with certain interesting contents of the cell chapter. So till this time we have covered many aspects related to the cell, and we come to know that cells are the structural and functional unit. So related to cell we are going to study certain cell organelles which are going to be present in the cell structure. Now it can be the plant cell, it can be the animal cell also. Now which are the ingredients? So first of all we have seen about the cell membrane. What is this cell membrane? Quickly we are going to revise it. So cell membrane is the outer covering of anything. Just like imagine your body itself. Your body is going to have a definite shape because your skeletal system is going to provide it. In the same way, when we are talking about the cell, imagine this particular structure as a cell. It can be plant cell or animal cell. Here also we are able to observe a particular layer which can be considered as cell membrane. This cell membrane is also called as the plasma membrane. Now what is the work of this cell membrane? As you are able to observe that it is going to cover the cell organelles. So this outer membrane is going to protect the cell from the internal as well as the external barriers. So all these barriers are going to come from either the outside environment or the internal environment. So this particular cell membrane is very porous in nature, so that it will only allow selected particles to get entry inside the cell, and selected particles only they are going to move out of the cell. So this is the peculiar characteristics of the cell membrane. So whenever a question comes to you that write about the structure of the cell membrane as well as the function of the cell membrane, so you need to write that cell membrane is the outer covering of the cell which is going to give a definite shape to the cell as well as it is going to protect the cell. Along with that, you need to write that this cell membrane is porous in nature. How it is going to be porous in nature? If I am going to have a particular type of membrane, consider this as a cell membrane or as a plasma membrane. So now this is the internal environment of the cell where different cell organelles are already present. Okay. Now this is the outer environment. I am going to write here outer environment, and this is the inner environment. Now whenever the cell is going to appear in any sort of environment, it is going to face many type of obstacles. It can be unicellular organism, it can be multicellular. Or you can imagine the example of aquatic organisms. So aquatic organisms, when they are going to come in contact with water currents, they can be there in the water currents are there, then wind currents are there. Now these wind currents and water currents, these are referred to be as environmental barriers. Now these environmental barriers, we know that they are going to be damage the cell, because as the cell is going to live in this particular type of environment, there are chances that this particular cell is going to suffer from these water currents as well as the wind currents. Now this particular cell membrane, as I told you, that this is porous in nature. Now what is mean by porous in nature? It is semi-permeable membrane. Semi means half of it. Permeable means permeate. So semi-permeable. So this cell membrane is semi-permeable membrane. It is selectively permeable membrane. So what it is going to do, if this is the internal environment of the cell and this is the outer environment of the cell, so there are certain chemical processes which are going inside the cell, as well as there are many processes which are going out of the cell, that is in the outer environment of the cell. So this particular layer is going to be very important to protect this cell organelles. So what exactly it is going to do? This particular cell membrane is going to protect the complete cell from these water currents, wind currents, as well as the internal processes which are going on inside the cell. So when this particular cell, it can be plant cell, it can be animal cell also. So whenever nutrition is going to occur inside the cell, this cell is going to perform the process of nutrition. So whatever essential nutrients are present inside the cell, they are going to get absorbed inside the cell structure with the help of this cell membrane, because it is selectively permeable. Now whatever digestion has occurred, whatever nutrition has occurred, now it's time to remove the unwanted substances from the cell body. So, after completing the nutrition process, digestion process, whatever waste materials are generated inside the cell, they need to get excreted from the cell surface. So, again in this particular thing, what will happen? This particular cell membrane will allow the unwanted substances to get removed from this cell surface. They are going to get removed from the cell surface because they are unwanted substances which are very, very harmful to the cell body. So, in short, we can say that cell membrane, it is going to give a particular shape to the cell. It is going to protect the cell from internal as well as external barriers. Another thing about the cell membrane is it is semi-permeable, or we can say it is selectively permeable membrane. It is going to allow only certain particles to enter inside as well as to move out of the cell body. So, this is all about the cell membrane, which is going to be selectively permeable, and it is going to protect all the cell organelles which are present inside the cell, as well as it is going to protect it from the outside barriers. Now, after this, secondly, we have seen about the cytoplasm. Now, what happens with the cytoplasm? Cytoplasm is a jelly-like structure. So, structure, that is internal and outer structures are there. Now, second one is about the cytoplasm. Now, what exactly cytoplasm is going to do? It is a jelly-like substance. Why we are going to call it as jelly-like substance? Because it is semi-solid, jelly-like substance. So, this cytoplasm is a semi-solid substance which is present inside the cell. You can imagine that particular, in this particular diagram, see, here we are able to see certain dispersion of the medium is occurring. It is nothing but the cytoplasm. This particular cytoplasm is a jelly-like substance. Now, what is the function of cytoplasm? This cytoplasm is going to hold all the cell organelles inside the cell body. We have seen the cell structure. If you will imagine a cell structure, you will have many cell organelles in it. For example, nucleus is there. After that, we can have the mitochondria is there. Endoplasmic reticulums are there. Along with that, certain vacuoles are there, and chromosomes can also be there. Now, along with this all cell organelles, you will also come to know that a jelly-like substance is already present over here. Now, this jelly-like substance is going to hold all the cell organelles inside the cell. So, ultimately, it is going to protect them, it is going to provide nourishment to them. Now, see, if I am going to consider this particular diagram as a cell structure, I am able to see that these particular jelly-like substance is able to hold all the cell organelles at a place. And what it is going to do? This particular cytoplasm is going to provide nourishment to the cell. How it is going to provide nourishment to the cell? If I will consider the example of plant cell. I know in plant cell, plants are able to perform the process of photosynthesis. So, when plants will prepare the food material, normally they are going to utilize that food for themselves also. So, when they will utilize this particular photosynthetic processes, they are going to utilize that food material for them. So, this particular cell structure is going to have a peculiar characteristic, that plant cell is able to photosynthesize. So, whatever food material is present in the plant cell, that will be utilized by the plant and that will get transferred to other organisms also. So, when plant is going to utilize this food material, it is very essential that this food material should get widely distributed in the cell. For example, if in a cell structure, vacuole is there. Now, vacuole is responsible to store the food material. This vacuole will store the food material. Now, what about other cell organelles in the cell? This vacuole is going to supply the nutrients to other parts of the cell. For example, vacuole will have the food material nutrient content in it. This particular nutrient content will get widely distributed to endoplasmic reticulum, to the mitochondria, to the chloroplast, to the nucleus and many more cell organelles. So this is done only because of the presence of cytoplasm, because cytoplasm itself is a jelly-like substance. So it is going to provide nourishment to the complete cell. Along with that, it is going to act as an shock absorber. Now how it is going to perform this function? Let us have a look. Imagine any of the thing which is filled with water or air. You can take example of pillow which is filled with air, which we are normally using for the traveling, or we can take the example of pillow which is filled with water also, just for playing purpose we can utilize it. So when we are going to punch on it, what will happen? We are able to bounce it back from it. So it means that when we are bouncing on it, when we are punching on it, what will happen? The internal things which are present inside the pillow will experience certain type of movement in it. Now this movement may destruct the organelles which are present in the cell. For example, in this particular cell, inside this cell there are many cell organelles, and if I am going to push this cell surface, what will happen? It may happen that certain cell organelles will experience destruction for it. So to avoid this condition of getting injured for the cell organelles, this particular cytoplasm will act as a shock absorber. It is going to absorb all the things which are coming outside and internally in the cell surface. So in short, we can say, dear students, that cytoplasm is a jelly-like substance which is going to have all the sort of nutrients essential for the cell growth. It is going to provide nourishment to the cell. Along with that, it is going to function as a shock absorber for all the cell organelles which are present inside the cell. Now let us have a move towards the main part of the cell, that is nucleus. Nucleus is referred to as brain of the cell. Now if you will consider human beings are going to have a well-developed brain system, because we are going to have a particular nervous system which is going to help us to think in different ways. So whatever actions we are doing, whatever reflex actions we are doing, they are just because of this particular structure which is present in plant cell as well as in animal cell. So nucleus is having a common structure and function in both plant and animal cell. How it is going to perform the function? Let us have a review for it. So nucleus is called as brain of the cell. It is responsible to perform all the functions related to the cell and the cell organelles. So in this particular nucleus, we are able to observe many parts which are going to resemble to the parts of the cell itself. Now you might be wondering that we were talking about cell membrane and cytoplasm, still the diagram was there itself. This is the diagram of nucleus. Nucleus is having the structure just like a common cell which is going to have cell organelles in it. So what is there in this particular type of nucleus? See, first of all, we are able to observe a membrane, that is outer membrane is present. Now in cell also we have studied that cell is surrounded by cell membrane or cell wall is present there. So this is going to be the part of nucleus which is called as nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane. Okay. Now this nuclear membrane is going to perform the function just like cell membrane was doing for the cell. So ultimately what it is going to do, this particular nuclear membrane is going to provide a definite shape to the nucleus. Along with that, it is going to provide protection to the organelles which are present inside the nucleus. So this is the nuclear membrane. Second one, this is just like cytoplasm, we are having nucleoplasm. Nucleoplasm. So name itself, they are correlating with each other. inside the nucleus there is jelly-like substance which is called as nucleoplasm. Now this nucleoplasm is going to act just like cytoplasm is present. So this nucleoplasm, what it is going to do? It is going to provide nourishment to the nucleus. Along with that, this particular nucleoplasm is going to act as a shock absorber for the cell structure. So whatever is present inside the cell is protected because of the nucleoplasm which is present over there. So nucleoplasm, a jelly-like substance is present which is going to protect it from the shock absorbing things, as well as it is going to provide the nourishment to the nucleus. Now let us have another look for what exactly it is present inside the nucleus. Another thing which is present inside the nucleus is nucleolus. Nucleolus. Okay, this is another part. See, this is the nuclear membrane. Inside it we are going to have the nucleoplasm just like cytoplasm, and inside this particular nucleus we are going to have a dark color part present inside it which is called as nucleolus. This particular nucleolus is going to have thread-like structures in it. These are the thread-like structures which are present inside the nucleolus. So they are called as chromatin fibers. Chromatin fibers. Now what is the function of chromatin fibers? Before moving towards the chromatin fibers, it is very essential to see what exactly these spiral shaped thread-like structures are going to be labeled in this nucleus diagram. So these particular structures are called as chromosomes which are present inside the nucleus. After knowing the function of these chromosomes, you will come to know why nucleus is very essential for the cell structure and the cell body. Chromosomes are having genes on them. These particular chromosomes are going to have genes on them. What are the genes now? Genes, genes. These are called as hereditary material. What is meant by heredity now? Heredity is the transmission of characters from one generation to another generation. Whatever characters are present in the parents, they are transmitted to their offspring, that is to the next generation. Now we might be wondering how it is going to happen, because whenever there is fusion between the male and female gamete, another nucleus is present or it is formed which is going to have certain characteristics from father and certain characteristics from mother side. So all these characters, they combine in one nucleus because of chromosomes and because of genes which are present on the chromosomes. So whenever you will come across this term, that is heredity, you need to keep in your mind heredity is related to the chromosomes and the genes which are present inside the cell. Example I will give you. Consider your parents. Example only, like your father is fair and your mother is somewhat dark. Example is there, and the child is somewhat fair. So what we can predict from this, that the child is carrying the color from his father. And if the child is somewhat dark in color, we can say that the child is carrying the color from the mother side. So how they are carrying these things? These are the characters which are transmitted from one generation to another generations. So this particular transmission is called as heredity, and heredity occurs because of presence of genes and chromosomes only. So these chromosomes are very important in the cell body because they are responsible to carry on the characters from one generation to another. If genes are not there, if chromosomes are not there, imagine how life is going to exist on the earth's surface. For example, if I am going to take example of plant, tomato plant is there. So the genes which are present in the tomato plant, if they are carried forward to the next generation of the tomato plant, then the same plant is going to give you same type of fruit, tomato fruit will be there. And if suppose the genes are not present in the tomato plant, then do you think that the new generation of that plant will have tomatoes in it? No. If genes and chromosomes are absent, then ultimately transmission of characters is not at all possible. So whatever may be the condition, whatever may be the circumstances, it is very essential that heredity material should be there inside the nucleus, which is going to carry forward the characters from one generation to another generation. So in short, we can say that nucleus is going to have a particular nuclear membrane which is going to surround the nucleus, it is going to protect the nucleus and the organelles which are present inside the nucleus. Second important thing is about the nucleoplasm, which is just going to act just like cytoplasm. So this cytoplasm is going to provide the nourishment as well as it is going to protect the cell from the shocks which are going to get arise from the cell body. Next one is nucleolus, which is going to have the chromatin fibers. Now these chromatin fibers are the parts of your chromosomes and the genes, thread-like structures. So these chromatin fibers are going to play very important role in cell division. When the embryo is formed, when there is union of male and female gamete, embryo is formed. After that, cell division occurs because of chromatin fibers. So this cell division is responsible to have the development of different parts of your body. So chromatin fibers are going to perform the function of cell division in organism's body. So all these essential contents are present inside the nucleus itself. So we can say that nucleus is going to have a nuclear membrane, it is going to have a nucleoplasm. After that, nucleus is going to have nucleolus, which is going to have the chromatin fibers which are essential for the cell division. Along with that, nucleus is going to have the chromosomes which are going to harbor the genes on them, which are going to transmit the characters from one generation to another generation. So dear students, today we have seen about the structure and function of cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, and what are the different parts of the nucleus. Now in our next session, we are going to study about the particular function of Golgi bodies as well as the vacuole inside it. Till that time, my dear students, what you need to do is you have to first draw the diagram of the plant cell. After that, label it properly, use different colors for it so that easily you can identify different parts inside the cell, and try to enlist the functions of it, because functions are very important. Whenever the questions are asked in such type of contents, normally they ask you to draw the diagram, draw a well-labeled diagram, or there can be a question that particular names are given to you, like for example cell membrane. Write about the structure and function of the cell membrane. So you need to enlist all the things which we have already discussed now. And if a separate question comes for nucleus, as it is the brain of the cell, so it is very important to write all the aspects related to the nucleus, like chromosomes are there, genes are there, chromatin fibers are there, nucleolus is there, nucleoplasm is there. So all these things and their special functions you need to enlist in that particular thing. And later on we are going to have different cell organelles which are common in plant cell as well as in animal cell. But there are certain organelles which can be seen in plant cell, but they can be absent in animal cell also. So while studying, you need to develop your brain in such a way that every time there should be comparison between the plant cell as well as the animal cell, because in such type of things comparison is very essential, because we need to differentiate between the different structures and functions of the cell. So dear students, as you are able to do all the things very enthusiastically, I believe that you will draw the cell structure very properly in your fair copy, label it properly, and try to concentrate more on the functions and structure of the nucleus. Till that time, my dear students, please do take care and study well. Thank you.